Rome makes a great home base. There are so many places so close by train that you can visit in a day, and I've got 10 ideas for you, some of my favorite day trips from Rome. Lots to talk about. Let's get started. Here's a quick preview of the 10 day trips we're going to cover in this video. All aboard, first stop, Napoli.
La luna mezzo mare, mamma mia, mamma ridare. Figlie mie, cutte dare, mamma mia, pensaci tu. Se tu togli la pesciaiola, e tu vai, e tu vieni, sempre lo pesce, ma lo tiene. Se ci picchi la fantasia, mi pisciuglia la figlia mia. La pesce fritta baccalà, uè compagno che la nave che giacca. Oh mamma, pesce fritta baccalà, mi voglio una yacht che mi voglio maritare.
Napoli is located about 1 hour south of Rome on high-speed rail, making it super easy to visit Napoli as a day trip. When you first get off the train in Naples, you may not be super impressed. In fact, you may be even a little bit intimidated because it does have a kind of a rough exterior. But once you break through that, Naples has got so much charm, so much personality. It's such a fun city just to go and explore. They've got a historical area of Naples that's fantastic for shopping. Lots of food, pizza. The food, let's talk about that real quick. Best pizza in the world, best pastries in the world, some of the best pastas in the world. It's known for its cuisine. Naples will not let you down. Even if you just go to Naples to enjoy the food, you're gonna love it. In addition to that, the historical area is a lot of fun to walk around, very interesting streets. There's even an underground tour you can take. I found it very interesting. You get to go maybe 50, 60 feet below ground where, they just, over the years, one civilization collapses and then they build onto it, and there's places under the city just incredible to take a look at and a lot of fun to do. Also from Naples, you can get a great view of Mount Vesuvius. That's the volcano that erupted and destroyed Pompeii, Herculaneum. Well, it's just a short distance from Naples. Super cool view of that. While you're in Naples, you can explore the Amalfi Coast, Capri, Isca, Procida. Those are some islands just off of Naples, along with Sorrento and the Amalfi Coast and Positano. Lots to see and do around Naples, but if you can only get there for a day trip, it's definitely on the top of my list. Be sure to check out our travel guide. It has interactive maps to some of the best food in Rome, a 70+ page PDF, and hours of helpful video. I'll put a link to it in the description with a discount code where you can pick it all up for right around $20. Next stop, Bracciano. Located about 30 kilometers north of Rome, about 1 hour on the train, is Lake Bracciano. And on Lake Bracciano, there's a town called Bracciano. Bracciano has one of the most spectacular castles. In fact, it's my favorite castle I've been to in all of Italy. It's the same castle where Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes were married, I think back in 2016. And to be honest, I don't even know if they're still married, but the castle is still there, and I highly recommend you visit it. You won't regret it. Bracciano is also a real fun town just to go explore. It's not very big, but very interesting. Also on Lake Bracciano, about 10 kilometers on the other side of the lake, is a small town called Anguillata Sabazia. It's a medieval town built up on the lake. Very much worth your time. You can walk up to the Duomo on top, get spectacular views of Lake Bracciano from there. And if you're into the lake, there's lots of places to just sit down by the lake, relax, maybe even work on your tan, play in the water, whatever you want to do. You can make a great day of it at Lake Bracciano. It's definitely worth your time, and it's a fantastic day trip from Rome. Now we're heading to the Castelli Romani. Just outside of Rome, about 20 kilometers, is an area or region known as the Castelli Romani area, the Roman castle region. That's because there's lots of little towns, and each little town has a castle. The easiest way to get there is to take the train to Frascati. It's about a 30-minute train ride. There are trains running to and from Frascati, about 1 per hour throughout the day. Once you're in Frascati, be sure to check out the town of Frascati. It's a very lively town, especially for a small town. And the town of Frascati is loaded with tons of restaurants. Makes a great place to grab a meal there in Frascati. Once you're in Frascati, you'll want to explore the Castelli Romani region. There are two ways. You can either take your own car, and that makes it very convenient, or there are buses, lots of buses, so it's no problem taking the bus from town to town. While visiting the Castelli Romani area, there are a few towns I want to point out. Castel Gandolfo, that's where the Pope has its summer house. It's located on Lake Albano. You can visit the town. It's small, super quaint. You can get great views of the lake, and you can even walk down to the lake, you know, rent a boat, just kind of play in the lake for a little bit, then head back up to the town, maybe grab lunch there. A great day. While you're visiting the Castelli Romani region, do not miss the town of Nemi. Nemi is spectacular. It's located on Lake Nemi. Absolutely the most picturesque town of a small little town that I've been to. I think you'll love it. The area is known for its porchetta, so while you're there, be sure to grab some of that. And then visit also a little town called Rocca di Papa. It's a medieval town. It's built up on a hill, kind of a steep incline, but it's kind of fun to start at the base, walk up to the top, get the views from top, then come on back down and get the bus and head to another town. The Castelli Romani region, there's lots to explore there. You know, certainly make a full day of it, and it's definitely worth your time. A very fun place to kind of just go out and explore and check out these castles and all the little towns around it. If you're enjoying this video, then please give it a like. Leave a comment, I love comments, or simply share it with someone. Now we're off to Spoleto. Just outside of Rome, about 1.5 hours by train, is the town Spoleto. It's located in the Umbria region of Italy, a fantastic area. It's a very hilly area, and Spoleto is built on a hill, making it that much more picturesque. The town of Spoleto, when you first arrive, it's not all that impressive. It's kind of ordinary, but as you work your way towards the city center, towards the historical area, the city just comes alive. Spoleto also has a huge castle you can go tour, and there's a bridge built in 1300s. It's called Ponte delle Torri, and this bridge has been closed for almost a decade. You could look at it, but you couldn't walk across it. There was an earthquake a while ago that damaged it, but it's been repaired, and now you can walk across it. In fact, there's a hike you can do, and I strongly recommend you do it. It takes about an hour, hour and a half to do it. It's a loop. It takes you across that bridge, through the countryside. You get great views of Spoleto along the hike, and it loops you right back into Spoleto. I'm going to put a link to the directions on this map. It's a GPS guided little hike you can do while you're in Spoleto. I'll put that in the description of this video. It's a lot of fun to do. It takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, like I said. And whether you do that in the morning, afternoon, or evening, while you're in Spoleto, be sure to do that little hike, that little walk, and explore the town of Spoleto. You won't regret it. It's a beautiful town. Great day trip from Rome for sure. Next stop, Tivoli. You are going to love Tivoli. Tivoli is located in the Roman countryside, maybe 15 to 20 kilometers outside of Rome. It's a great town, easily accessible by train. There are 1 to 2 trains going or coming from Tivoli to Rome every hour. The quick trains take about 30-35 minutes. There are other trains that may take a little over an hour, so check the schedule and try to get on one of those quicker trains. You're gonna appreciate that from experience. So the town of Tivoli is kind of built up on a hilltop and offers some great views of the Roman countryside. And it's one of those towns that's just fun to get lost in. You're not really gonna get lost, but just go explore. There's hardly a boring street in the entire town of Tivoli. And as you're exploring, there are a few really important and fun sites to visit. One of them is Villa d'Este. It's right down here. What's real impressive here are the gardens. Out back behind the villa, there are over 500 fountains. Some of the fountains are huge. And it's very impressive and very much worth your time to visit Villa d'Este. Also, on the other side, maybe a 5 or 10 minute walk, there's a villa called Villa Gregoriana. It's more like a nature hike or a park, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna enter this gorge here, and it's super interesting. There's pathways leading all the way down to the bottom, and this here is actually a waterfall. And then you're gonna walk through different paths. There's some caves and just some very interesting things to see along the way. It's maintained immaculately, it's just beautiful. And then as you exit the park or the gorge here, the Gregoriana Villa, you're gonna enter here or exit here at the Temple de Vesta, which is right here. When you're exploring the town of Tivoli, there's one more site that's really interesting to see, and it's actually outside the city, maybe 2 kilometers or so. It's called Hadrian's Villa, or Villa Adriana in Italian. It's right down here. What it is it's kind of the remnants of an old villa that was built back in 120 AD. Let's see here. So yeah, there's still a lot of fun to just explore. It's quite large. It's about a square kilometer of stuff to see. There's like 30 different buildings, and some of them are pretty well intact. Others, just got, a lot of them are missing the roofs and stuff, but super interesting, super fun to go explore Hadrian's Villa while you're in the Tivoli area. And Tivoli, again, is just such a fun city to explore and just to have a good time in. Lots of restaurants. The people there are amazing. They're very warm and friendly. And there's not that many tourists out here in Tivoli, despite it being so close to Rome. I really recommend you take the time to get out to Tivoli. It's an awesome day trip. I think you're going to love it. Pack your bags. We are heading to Sorrento. If you haven't been to Sorrento, you're in for a real treat. Sorrento is located about 2 hours south of Rome, not far from Naples. The best way to get there is to take the high-speed train from Rome to Naples, then hop on what they call the Circumvesuviana train. It's an antique train. It's not very nice. It's not very comfortable. Compared to what you just came on, the high speed is fantastic. This particular train is probably left over from World War II or something. It's an older train, but it makes getting to Sorrento that much more pleasant when you finally arrive. So you take that train. In all, it's about 2 hours. 1 hour to Naples, and then just to go that last, 20, 30 miles is another hour. But that's what it is. Once you arrive in Sorrento, it's like coming out of a storm onto a beautiful day. It's fantastic. Sorrento's on the sea cliff there. You can look out over Naples, the bay there. You can see Vesuvius. You can check out all the little shops in Sorrento. A fun place to just hang out, absorb the atmosphere. Also in Sorrento, they make the music boxes. So if you ever wanted an Italian music box, Sorrento is a place to buy it. Now there are lots of shops in Sorrento that sell music boxes. Most of them are just retail outlets, but there are a few factory shops where they actually make them inside the shop as well as sell them. I'm going to leave a link to a place that I found in Sorrento. I found the prices to be very good. The actual artist, and I say artist because that's really what it is. It's a work of art. They make them right there. If you ask the guy at the store, he'll actually take you up to a studio where they make all the music boxes. Quite fascinating, and you can pick them up for quite a bit less than you'll ever be able to get them in the States. So I highly recommend you do that when you're in Sorrento.
That's the blade, you know.
It's where they make them.
It's a small picture.
Ah.
This is the piece that I cut, no? In different colors.
Yeah, nice.
And the design from here. This is the design.
Okay.
And I cut piece by piece in different colors.
Yeah.
See? That's wood.
What type of wood?
Any color.
Here's all the wood pieces. All different colors.
That's one noce.
Okay. Enoche?
Noce.
Walnut.
Walnut.
Yeah.
Questo olmo.
Almond.
Elm.
Almond?
Elm.
Elm. Oh, elm tree. Okay.
It's not the tree. Radice. Root.
The root. Okay.
Because the tree, it's this. No? It's
Okay.
a line.
Yeah.
And the root is
The root. Wow.
other color. It's a tint. It's ash.
An ash.
Ash.
The root.
Ash. Ash. Tint ash.
Also the root, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. The tree.
What tree? Okay.
I have any color. I buy everything. Fish.
So this looks like it's one piece of wood, but it's a bunch of pieces of wood all kind of put together, right? Very good. Grazie. Another really fun thing to do in Sorrento. I know you've been on the train from Rome to Naples and you had to go on a train again, but get on a bus. And I wouldn't normally say this, but if you take the bus from Sorrento to Positano, it's actually an incredible bus ride. It's a very entertaining bus ride, and I never thought I'd say entertaining and bus ride at the same time, but it really is the most entertaining, exciting, fun bus ride I've ever taken in my life. It's just beautiful, and so you can take that bus down to Sorrento or down to Positano, check out Positano for an hour or two, and then head back to Sorrento. In all, it's like €5 round trip on the bus. You pick up the bus right there at the train station. It's really a highlight. I promise you'll enjoy that bus ride. But if you're motion sickness sensitive to that, it may not be your thing. It is a little bit windy, but you go across these really steep sea cliffs. It's just amazing. So if you have that in you, be sure to do that. Otherwise, just hang out in Sorrento, absorb that atmosphere, and grab some great food before heading back to Rome. If you're ready for a beach day, head to Ostia. Ostia is one of the easiest day trips from Rome. Just go to the Pyramid Station on the B line, the metro. From there, there's a train station. You can hop on the train. It's actually the same tickets, the same price. It's €1.50 for the train from Rome to Ostia, and from Ostia back to Rome. When you get to Ostia, there are miles and miles, kilometers and kilometers of beachfront that you can walk along. Just enjoy the town of Ostia, quite interesting. One thing I do recommend you do before heading back to Rome is to head to Ostia Antica. It's an old town city that was destroyed, I think, by a mudslide. Not quite as interesting as a volcano like Pompeii and Herculaneum, but Ostia nonetheless has lots of ruins to explore. And then once you're done with that, you can head back to Rome. Again, Ostia is definitely worth your time. It's a fun day trip from Rome. The volcano Vesuvius did not just destroy Pompeii. We're headed to Ercolano. Another great day trip from Rome is to go visit the town of Herculaneum. Herculaneum was destroyed along with Pompeii by Vesuvius. Now everybody's heard of Pompeii, and Pompeii's a great little town to go visit and see all those ruins, but in my opinion, I've been to both. I enjoyed Herculaneum just a little bit more, maybe because it's more compact, a little bit easier to navigate. It wasn't so vast over such a big area. And one of the most interesting things at Herculaneum were the boatyards. Today there's no water there, but apparently the water used to come up there, and there's these cement like boatyards. I guess they put the boats in for shelter. I'm not exactly sure, but in there during the eruption of the volcano, many people ran into those seeking shelter, and today you can see they didn't make it. There's a lot of the bones are still there. Pretty interesting, and that's not the only thing. There's lots of other interesting artifacts to look at in Herculaneum. I found it absolutely fantastic. It's a great day trip from Rome. You take the high-speed rail to Naples, and from there you hop on the train. It's maybe 15 minutes from there, so it doesn't take that long to get to Herculaneum. And if you're looking for an alternative to Pompeii, check out Herculaneum. If you've been to both, I'd love to hear which you like more. Personally, I thought Herculaneum was better, but I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. And yeah, so when you're in Rome and you want to see some cool ruins, head on down to Naples, head over to Herculaneum, and enjoy the day checking out the lost city of Herculaneum. Next stop, Firenze. With the addition of high-speed rail, Florence is now a feasible day trip. It used to take 3 to 4 hours on the train to get to Florence, but with high-speed rail, it's about 1.5 hours, making it a great day trip from Rome. Now, I know Florence probably deserves more of your time than just one day, but if it's not in the cards, taking a day trip to Florence makes a lot of sense. One of the things I like most about Florence is that as soon as you get off the train station, the city is easily walkable. You don't have to worry about public transportation. It's a beautiful city, and I'm sure you kind of know what you have planned to do. So I'm just going to mention 2 things to do in Florence. The rest, you know, you can figure out. There's a lot of information on it. The 2 things I'm going to suggest you do is take the walk up to Piazza Michelangelo, where you can get a great view of the city of Florence. It really is breathtaking, and it's a short walk, maybe 15 to 20 minute walk from the Duomo or from the historic area of Florence. And the second thing is eat at Sandwich Chick, my favorite sandwich shop in Florence, and one of my favorite sandwich shops in all of Italy. Eat a sandwich at Sandwich Chick. We are headed to Bologna, and no, Oscar Mayer does not live here. 2 hours north of Rome on high-speed rail is Bologna. Bologna is home of bologna. I think it's home of tortellini. It's home of mortadella. I'm pretty sure of that too. But anyways, Bologna has great food. One of the best reasons to go into Bologna is for the food, but that's not all. It has a fantastic historical area. It's got 2 huge towers. I think they're some of the tallest in the world. And they're leaning. Now I heard, I don't know for sure, that they're leaning more than the Tower of Pisa. Could be, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but either way, it's impressive, it's interesting to look at, all kinds of fun things to see and do in Bologna. It's a great day tip from Rome, just 2 hours on a high-speed rail. I highly recommend you visit Bologna. So there you have it, 10 great day trips from Rome. Let me know what your favorite day trip is, and if you've never been to Rome, which of these day trips looks interesting to you? Which would you go to? Leave it in the comments, I'd love to read them. To the next one, alla prossima, ciao.
That's very good.
Siete voi un barozzo?
Ma se dà fastidio smondere e metterle in tasca!
Che l'avete preso per un'automobile che ci sono i pezzi di ricambio?
Piano piano. Ecco qua, guarda, è bella! Adesso allunghiamo un poco,